Hey folks, how's it going?
Hey, good afternoon, good morning.
Hey, long time no see you guys.
Oh, Fabiano is back.
Yeah, I'm back.
That's perfect. We missed you in the AC meetings.
Yeah, but are you back to cause trouble or?
Oh man, I always causing trouble being back or not to the AC meetings, right? So
I guess so, yeah.
Steve, that's a sign of a good engineer to cause trouble, because he is asking the questions nobody's there to ask, and he is facing up with people who are not there to, get up to people.
I more meant causing trouble by breaking the CI, but he doesn't need to be at the AC meetings to do that, so he's demonstrated.
Yeah.
well, in the fairness, like yeah, Steve, you are right. I never stop at breaking things. Now I'm here to be blamed though, like in person, for the things that I will keep breaking, by the way.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely good to have you back, and we appreciate your knowledge and experience. Right, let me get sharing. The agenda is quite light, although there's a lot of previous actions to review, and there might even be some more that I missed because I was on vacation last week. But if anyone's got any topics they want to add, feel free to add them. But I guess we should probably wait a minute or two to see if we can get any more AC members. Oh, we've got one through. See if anyone else is. No, no.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
Hey, Ronan. Welcome. Okay. I think we've got probably quorum, even if it's a small one, at the moment. So I guess we can go through the agenda as mentioned before. If you've got anything else, we're reasonably light, depending on how much conversation we need to keep on these, but feel free to add. So I guess the top one, the re-requiring of the non-TE. So Aurelian did a great bit of debugging and managed to fix an issue which was causing, well, when I went away, it was causing intermittent failures like 20% of the time, but then it seemed to start causing failures on every run, or nearly every run. I think it went in on Monday or Tuesday, and we've been green since then. So fingers crossed, next week's meeting, we will be able to give it the all clear and have 10 green runs. But
Steve, I have a question.
go ahead.
This is like a very important CI for us to have being required, and we have some required CIs that are not stable either, right? They fail every now and then.
Mhm.
For this specific CI, and let's keep this part for this very specific CI. I would be in favor to make this required right now.
So we have debated that on various past AC meetings. The the deciding vote went to the maintainers, and as AC member and maintainer of this job, I didn't necessarily want to bend anything when we had intermittent failures. I think 5 might be too short a track record. If we'd have had the last sort of 8 passing, then I would be more susceptible to say, yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, then we discuss this week because like I'm just afraid that we end up breaking other things because of this one not being required, and this one is the one that I think we should have as required between all the confidential containers ones.
Or maybe the CVSI one, because that is basically pretty rock steady. So we
Thank
could
you.
so we could oh sorry, this
For
is
sure as
runtime
well.
RS. I'll find it's the Cocoa job. Sorry. This one. So that if we want to have some more assurance on the Cocoa CI, then this one would definitely be a candidate as well.
Then I would go for that.
So yeah, I guess Choi, from your point of view, would you like?
Yeah, I'm a mother of them, so I keep watching. Yeah, I
Cool.
keep monitoring them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because
there won't be any situation where those jobs block any PRs. Yep.
yeah, because I think under our guidelines we said 10 days of passing tests and a one or more nominated maintainers. So that one definitely satisfies that. So I think if you want it to be maintained, Troy, then yeah, just let us know and we
Yeah,
can
but
do that.
only the Nidus one. I'm not sure about that overlays and runtime RS because
Yeah, that's fine.
yesterday since I updated the host OS version, the overlay FS that runtime RS tests got a little bit flaky. So it basically nightly tests didn't catch that flakiness yet, but I saw a bunch of failures from the PRs. So I don't want to make the overlay FS runtime RS tests as a required.
Yeah, that's fine. I think
Yeah.
Fabiano is looking for a Coco
Yeah,
Canary,
yeah. Yeah.
really.
Then
So I guess
I'm fine
this
with
one.
this. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
So I guess we can sort that out afterwards. But the mechanics of it. And then hopefully next week on, I guess, Tuesday-ish, we'll be able to do the same for the non-TE. Does that sound okay, Fabiano? That's an approach.
Yes, that sounds okay.
And one thing that's going to be important too that I wanted to mention is the moving forward, we might want to be a bit more uh, strict with flakiness, right? If we see that this particular bug that we fixed is regressing, let's let's not be like, oh, we can just rerun the test and then deal with it later, right? I think we should take a closer look at whatever PR would regress and either fix that PR or just not merge it, so that we don't have to deal with this kind of issue in the future.
Yeah. I think that one of the challenges was, with this, I guess the C groups V2 stuff, which triggered some of this because originally it was only failing like on these tests maybe 2 out of 10 times unless you happen to get that on your PR. And I don't know, I'm not sure if it was just rerun to get green or if it was just a lucky one. But yeah, it's
You see, let me tell you, like those tests were not required. So by the moment those tests are not required, people are not paying attention on whether or not those tests are failing.
Right.
Right. So this is one of the problems, and then we have a chicken egg problem. But I totally agree with Aurelian. Like we should not be blindly skipping tests, but rather taking some time to investigate and actually fix what are the issues. And Aurelian, I appreciate what you did this time, but keep in mind that we also have been doing that a lot of times as well. So this time it just like everyone else was busy for one reason or another, but we have been doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I guess let's add this particular error here to the list of things that we we fixed and that we don't want to regress on, right? So if we see this very specific error again, it means something is broken again. So let's take a closer look, I guess, and even ping me or something. But yeah, just wanted to call that out.
Yep. Agreed. I'll put. Let me just say we can have a look.
I guess I'm trying to say that there's some errors where we can easily blame the AKS control plane, and there's some others where it might be some kind of intricate bug in the Kata
Yeah.
runtime or in some Kata component. So those I feel we have to take a closer look at
Yeah.
before rerunning or before skipping the test. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the challenges, which I'm as guilty as anyone, is sometimes it's non-trivial to work out what's a infra flake and what's a code flake. And so you go, oh, well, if it's an infra flake, especially if it's in a test area that you're not really involved with, and you can go, oh, well, I'll rerun it. Oh, it works now. Great. It must have been an infra flake. But yeah, looking out for those specific, like you say, that container D task can't be started. Maybe we've got a catch-all of particularly, or ideally, I guess if we did the other way, if we had a list of known symptoms of an infraflake, then they're the ones that we could more safely rerun. And maybe that links to Bina's idea of automatic retry, and maybe we don't want to automatic retry all of them, but we have an allow list of if we see this error, then that's a known infra flake. Therefore, let's rerun. But other things don't get retried. Might be worth considering. And just for people's reference, if you don't know what we're talking about, Finer has a PR around a mechanism for retrying and better reporting. The better reporting we think is great, but retrying we're a little bit on the fence. So it's if a test fails, then you just rerun it. And yeah, as Aurelian said, we had some discussion yesterday on the Coco CI channel, which we probably need to. Sorry, and the Coco CI call, which we probably need to copy across into here. That we're just a little bit concerned that hiding flakes might not be the best approach. So we figured if we can get a warning state or something like that, that might be better. But we don't necessarily just want to go, oh, it failed, let's rerun it. Oh, it's passed now. Great, because if it fails part of the time for our end users, that's not a great experience. Okay. Yes. Ildiko, how is the review of the presentation going? I left a bunch of comments before I went on vacation, but I've not really caught up on that.
Yeah, I responded to some of your comments and I made updates in the slides. So
Cool.
I think there's one thing there are two logo slides. I'll see how I can combine them, and there is at least one slide which talked about the 2.0 features, which I think like you and Anastasios I think if I remember correctly, added comments to the slides. Like I updated this one.
Yep.
I added a slide for peer pods, and there is one slide that talked about the 2.0 features, and I think it was your comment, Steve, to generalize it and I assume make it about 3.0 or not 3.0, but 3.x. And that is one thing that I'm currently a little bit struggling with in terms of, what to put here.
Yeah.
I started to reorganize this a little bit and I added a 4.0 roadmap one. So the question mark again is what to put here. If we want to have a 4.0 roadmap slide in this slide deck. So I just need a little bit of double checking if what I put in here is accurate and like what you all would want people to know about Kata. Because with like how the minor releases are progressing, for full transparency, as someone who's not working actively on the code or not running the runtime in production, sometimes it's hard to pick out from releases what is a user-facing change and what is a change that is, the code got more stable, the code has less bugs in it. But sometimes it's hard to tell what and how it boils up to the user and what would be important information for someone who is looking for a runtime like Kata. So that kind of what I still need a little bit of help with
Yep.
to point to those things that you all think would be valuable for people to see who do not know the project yet.
Sorry, just something I noticed is, and it's a little bit before my time, but is one of the headline features of 2.0 the Rust agent and performance and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's worth just adding a sub bullet just for this one. So we've got some standout feature for it.
Yeah, I can do that.
But yeah, I think this slide, maybe I guess if it doesn't fit into for both these two, if it doesn't fit neatly into 3 boxes, then maybe just having some bullet points or something might be with sub headings or something like that might be a better approach, just because like for 4.0 we don't necessarily know all of the specific features because we're not there yet. So I think just having some kind of headlines might be better than like the Rust runtime. We can talk about the Rust runtime should give performance improvements, low overhead. Container D2 is really kind of for compatibility and to hopefully be able to utilize some of their new APIs and services. But if we do a good job of this, then from a user's perspective, the user experience shouldn't change apart from they have less flakes and they don't have to worry about the NIDA snapshotter if you're using Cocoa and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know if we'll have too many subsections, but yeah, I guess we can maybe talk about some of these things offline. But yeah, I guess the call to action still remains because we've still got obviously you want to do it before the last minute, but yeah, if people can review these slides, especially if you've been around the project a bit longer, and then that would be great.
Can you put the link of the slides to the chat if possible?
I can, yes.
It should be in the Etherpad, isn't it? In the Etherpad.
Yeah, it is in the Etherpad.
Can you put the link to the Etherpad to the chat, please?
Yep.
Either one works.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I guess the Etherpad maybe, I don't know if because I think I've left some comments on here and which probably wasn't necessarily helpful, but I don't know if these have all been addressed, but maybe they can be removed if that's the case.
Yeah, I can cross them
from
over.
here. So just so people are only updating in one place, and apologies because it was me that started the the comments in two places.
No, it's helpful because like we can use the Etherpad for things to flesh out like, you know, what information to include in the slides, and then I can work on the visual, like how to visualize it. So in like Etherpad is easier to collaborate on content, and then the visuals on how the content appears on the slides from there, it's easier compared to trying to collect content and do visualization in the slides at the same time. So I think it's great to have this content here. The only reason I didn't cross these off is just to kind of giving people a chance to review and say that yes, this all
Mhm.
seems like a good idea to have on the slides, or no, we should have something completely different. And I think the what to remove, some of those I did, so I will cross those off.
Any more
I just
comments
have
or
one comment.
yeah, go on.
It just caught my attention. The one slide specifically about SciSec. SciSec had one contribution to the project in the past few years. One.
Yeah.
So
So
this is more about use cases and users, you know, so that is a different context
yeah, but
as
let
well.
me be honest with you, Yodiko. Like if someone is using Kata containers and is not reporting bugs or not writing code, I think they are not using Kata containers because we have like a lot of bugs. So just giving like a highlight to a company like that for it just feels weird, sincerely speaking.
I understand what you're saying. I would love to highlight use cases. So if you all, like, I know that we have the users page. I don't necessarily want every single thing to be on these slides, but if you all have like 3 flagship use cases that we could detail out with or without any company who's using or running that thing in production right now, I'm open to do that. It is, yeah, just, yeah. And also the slides are old, so they need updating. So, like, let me know which use case you all think would be the coolest to have in the slides, and then I can add the link to the users page, and then people can discover more.
Do we still have the blog posts? That's probably a question for Fabian or someone else. From Simon, I
I
think
think we
there
do.
was, because yeah, so this is an IBM pipelines team that run, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but they run Kata at a large scale. So that might be something, yeah, IBM Cloud. Yeah, so there is a blog post which is quite old, but they are still very active. So it might be that we could try and see if there's an update that we could get from Simon, and then refer to this because that kind of fits into one of the, sorry, my Zoom
Yeah,
settings have gone
and
over, that fits into one of our use cases of like CI/CD isolation, and I'm sure there's other people doing that as well, but that's they're a
and
good
and,
potential use
and
case.
Steve, I to be honest with you, like I would like to what I would do if it was like just up to me, right? I would get back to Simon, who is like can you just get back to that blog's web page? Because like Simon is has like a very good use case, right? Alibaba folks and financial folks, of course, they have as well. Can you just go one back where we had the previous blog
Oh, this
posts?
one, yeah.
Yeah, so North Flank for sure is one that had something posted
Doesn't,
at some point.
yeah, it doesn't look like it's on linked to on this use case slide at least.
Aha. So yeah, I remember that there was like a blog post in collaboration with Northflank, which is my new employer. We have been using Kata containers quite a lot as well, so that's worth getting. Edgeless is a very nice company to highlight as well because they have been contributing to the project. Microsoft, right? So all those companies are using Kata containers, contributing to Kata containers, opening issues on Kata containers, and I think that if you're going to give a shout out, to give a highlight, to put the name, to be visible. I personally would prefer, Nubifcus as well with Anastasius. I would prefer to do this with the people who are on the day-to-day, down in the trenches with us.
I'll look into that. Thanks.
Any last comments on that other than, yeah, thanks for the reviews so far, and yeah, some more would be great. Yeah, I guess we've got our VMT discussions that were from a while ago. I guess we just need to go in and remove the VMTs who are not active and leave the people who are still about on this. I think Greg was doing some of that, but due to personal reasons, he's been a bit less active recently. So, yeah, I'll try and have a look at this and at least see if I can work out who's on the list to remove the likes of Samuel and people who have not contributed for a while. Sonko, have you had a chance to look at GitHub tooling for reporting? Yeah.
Yeah, not yet, but taking notes
Okay.
right now and making an AI.
Cool. Oh, sorry. On the metrics tests, so yeah, I guess I can give an update on that. The metrics tests are not passing. Digging into them, it's a real mess, to be honest, which I hadn't really appreciated. So, like, one of the examples is we have a separate Kata step that installs Kata, and then we then run the metrics for the different hypervisors. That means I've seen it recently because it's been very busy, the CI, the last few days. The setup will run, install one version. The setup will run for a different PR, install another version. Setup will run for a third PR, install a different version. Then you come to run the metrics and you're actually running against a different version of code to what you thought. So, and even saying this, we've got a whole bunch of issues with timeouts. Some of the jobs, like the iPerf test job, has got affinities that use the Kubernetes master role, which obviously the cluster that it used to run on was set up, I don't know what version of Kubernetes, but a long time ago. So I've got a branch where I'm working on this stuff. Oh, this one, in fact. So yeah, it's kind of going forward. So like the first thing I've done is update the metrics jobs to get rid of this separate Kata setup and instead install it as part of the job. And I've also switched to use Kata deploy. Again, I don't know if I don't think anyone who was working on it is still around on the project, but like the previous approach was like untarring the payload and manually updating with seds, container D, stuff like that. We've got Kubernetes to install it. I don't really see a reason to do that. So that's why I'm working on switching this to use Kata deploy. Hopefully that should be stable. It's in the same job. We've already got tested ways of deploying that. So that's the kind of first step I'm rolling out, which on the last topic run seemed to work. It didn't solve the problem of running out of timeouts and stuff. So I've got a whole bunch of other commits here where I'm increasing timeouts, making changes to some of the kill functions, tidying them up, yeah, increasing the wait time, updated the affinities to use control plane rather than master and stuff like that. So I think that's running at the moment as we speak. I don't know if anyone's got any immediate feedback and says, "Oh no, you're doing completely the wrong thing," in which case I'll maybe stop. But that's the approach I'm trying to take to get us back to a point that the metrics are running. We know that we want to improve them and replace them going forwards, but having something as a regression test, I think, is still of value. So yeah, if anyone has any immediate feedback, then yeah, please let me know either now or send me a DM if you don't want to slate me in public, and you're very welcome to slate me in public. So I'm testing this in a topic branch at the moment. So yeah, it's just very frustrating how long it will take to make a change, rerun, rebuild everything. I don't know if it's because of topic branch I guess stuff like the shim still needs to be rebuilt, even if it's caching. But yeah, some stuff is running now, so hopefully I'll get there. But yeah, the CI has been very busy, so there's been some long waits for that. Any comments or questions about metrics? Okay. So there seemed to be some discussion last week about the performance testing improvements, and I saw that Ruching added some suggestions. I think we do want to factor in different hypervisors, or have the option to factor in different hypervisors, but it might be that we support a subset, like for example Strata, that we remove from the metrics test. We don't seem to have any maintainers for it, so probably not high on our list. And we talked about the idea of giving users the ability to run their own, so they could pick their hypervisor runtimes to check. I don't know if there was any other, so that has been handled, I guess. Ruching has done that action items, so that's done. But yeah, so I think now probably that action can just be, it drops into the proposals bucket. So yeah, maybe we should give these some titles so people can see what they are. So I think we definitely still want input on that, but I don't know if we need a specific action to update that, so people think that's a fair assessment of where we are. Okay, just to check, Ruching, is everything you intended to put in, I think you've covered. So this action can be marked as done. Is that fair?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. On the topics list, anybody have anything that they want to raise this week in not topics not related to the half an hour we spent talking about things we discussed previously?
Just a quick heads up. I guess some of you have noted that I'm bringing back the RMCI, which is something that did not receive that much love in the past few years. We got 2 runners now running the Kubernetes tests. I'm talking to both Linaro and ARM in order to get a 3rd runner there to run those basic tests, the tests with containerd and nerdctl and things like that. That one is running already. Like that was like mostly myself and Leonardo to get the Kubernetes tests.
So they're running in the nightlies now.
Yes, they are running everywhere. And if you take a look at the nightlies, you can use that GitHub page. Like it has been stable for 2 or 3 days. Since we added them, and that's good. I have opened a PR to just like skip some checks that were broken since we switched to using those GitHub self-hosted runners, because those self-hosted runners, they do not have virtualization capabilities, and then like some of the runtime tests would check for that, and they would just error out based on that. And then as soon as I get another machine, I will get to add the runner for those basic container D, nerdctl, and these kind of tests. So if you are interested on ARM, if you have like a personal or company interest on ARM, in my case it's personal, we can work together to make sure that we don't end up in a situation again where we end up like losing tests for a whole architecture that is quite important for and has been very well used like with the project.
So is this
Agree.
running the whole suite of tests, or is it a subset? I just know it seems very quick, but I don't know if it's just because the runner is very beefy.
So the runner is very beefy.
Okay.
Right, the runner is very beefy, but this is running just one subset. Well, it does not run the policy related tests,
Mm.
right? And then it skips all the tests related to Coco,
Okay. So it's
and then there are like 3 or 4 issues that have been open about tests that we are skipping right now.
mhm.
On the ARM, and then Kevin from Leonardo has been working on having that fixed.
Okay. So we've got potentially 55 skip tests at the moment. So about half of them, maybe. But yeah, that's cool. It's cool to see. Does this mean that the kind of second round of builders we got are not used anymore? I've noticed they've been offline for a while. The ones that Anastasios primarily was doing.
Yes. So these ARM builders,
Hmm.
we can just remove them
Okay.
because we switched to build. Man, I
Yep.
missed that. Sorry about that.
So I guess we want to let Kevin know so he can add them back to their pool or something like that.
No. So let me tell you how those ARM builders were running.
Okay.
Those ARM builders were virtual machines inside those JADE01 and JADE02 machines.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Mm.
I have already deleted those runners.
Okay. So I just remove them from here.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's why I haven't seen those VMs anymore. Okay, that's good to know. So we are running now
Yeah,
bare metal on the Jade 1 and Jade 2. Okay.
exactly. Because in any way, like we were just using those runners in order to build the projects, but at the moment we switched the build to the GitHub runners,
Yeah.
those runners were not used anymore. They were just
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah.
but not being used. And those runners, they do not support nested virtualization. So there is
Yep.
nothing much that we can do there.
Okay.
So what I ended up doing was converting these JD01 and JD02 machines to actually become Kubernetes runners,
Yeah.
uh, which I think we are good with 2 Kubernetes runners, and then trying to get one more runner to run the basic tests.
Hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
I guess while we're here, SEV is deprecated, so I guess we can remove the Roam runner as it's taken offline, and we don't have anyone from Intel, I don't think, but I don't believe
There
there's
is
plan
one
to run the
from
CentOS 9.
No, that one can be removed as well.
Yeah, you removed the job that ran that while in
Yes,
your old life.
exactly.
Cool.
But there is another one with TDX there, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the one that
Yeah.
for people's reference, if you notice that the nightly was still running, this machine went down. So Miko has reactivated it like an hour ago or something. So there will be quite a big backlog, but hopefully we will see the TDX job pick up at some point soon. As you saw on that list, it's in active state. So cool. Anything else? Sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent while you were talking about ARM. Anything else you wanted to mention about the ARM CI?
No, that's it for now. I know that Zvonko and Anastasios, they have a strong interest in getting ARM up and running very well. So I would just suggest that we sync as much as possible between us and together with both ARM and Leonardo folks, so we can make sure that we push the maintenance work to the Leonardo and ARM folks. But we start to we give them something that is green before we push the maintenance to them. Because I also know that the curve to get used to Kata Containers CI, it's a little bit steep. So let's make their lives easier in order for them to, well, let's help them to help us pretty much. Does it make sense?
Definitely.
And I guess it might be worth also the folks from JD, like Chifeng was doing some ARM development and pushing. I don't know if they're still actively interested in, but it might be. I had a DM where I put some of the folks from the ARM development team, like Nick Connolly and the JD team, together. So yeah, I don't know if we just need to have like an ARM channel in Slack or something like that. But yeah, it'd be good to ensure that everybody is on the same page or can see the great stuff that's going on.
I like
Cool.
the idea, Steve.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments on ARM CI or I guess CI in general, or any other topics for this week?
I do have a question about how do we set up the CI? Do we need the every instance connected to our organization to be bare metal? Because as of the current 3 RISC-V runners, they are actually, in comparison to other architectures, they still function at a very low speed. So how about we run GitHub action on that agent inside Docker containers. Like for each bare metal, we run 2 GitHub action runner instance and to better pick up jobs and as far as I know, the RISC-V machine I've connected, the I/O efficiency is also a problem. So, yes, that's basically my question. Should I just keep them as it is now, or switch to try to deploy more GitHub Action Agent to pick up more jobs at the same time? That's it.
So I guess that's sort of because you're just using the RISC-V as builders at the moment. It sounds like that's maybe a similar approach to what those ARM builders on the Equinix machines were doing. I don't know if it was in Docker containers, but Fabiano, you mentioned they were just virtualized virtual machines running on.
Yeah, they were just virtual machines. Docker containers can be even a better idea that we didn't have at the time.
Okay. Okay.
Obviously, when it comes to virtualization support and stuff like that, nested virtualization becomes tricky. But while we're just talking about builders, I don't think there's necessarily a problem with
Yes.
virtualization.
Yes, noted.
Cool. Okay, any other comments or questions?
Yep. So as you know, we recently added the shell check
Mhm.
GitHub action. Question is, so I encourage people to, if they are creating their PRs and they're touching any shell scripts, to also update them. The question is, should those corrections be part of the PR as a separate commit, or are we targeting to have PRs only touching those shell scripts? So should the updates of the shell script be part of the PR, or should we target really own PRs for updating all those shell scripts?
Are you do you want to fix all the failures in one PR?
No. If you go, let's say you are doing updates to the kernel, so you're touching like install kernel, build kernel, you're touching some of the shell scripts, right? Or on
Yeah.
the way to go,
Yeah.
right?
Huh?
Fix them. So the question
Yeah.
is, are we adding them as a commit to the PR that adds some functionality, or are we saying, hey, let's create a different PR fixing like build kernel.sh?
It's fine. It's fine to be in the same PR as a different commit.
Okay,
Right?
let's do that.
Just don't mix up as part of the same commit, please.
Yeah,
But
that's what the
Zvonko,
point. Yeah.
what's your strategy for making this check green?
As I said, everybody who is, so I have several PRs with that are touching kernel. So
Yeah.
I'm going to add another commit fixing, for example, bitkernel.sh. Right?
Okay, so is it that every time that we have a PR that touches a relevant file, we're supposed to fix that file?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think that would be
You
great.
know,
So the reality is there's 2,700 plus
Yeah.
issues here. So it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint.
yeah.
It
So I
might be.
don't.
Sorry, go ahead, Ronan.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Steve. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's probably a mix. I think like there's an opportunity, and it might be, I was talking to Svonko about it, it might be like a Friday afternoon activity or something for me. That's kind of how I did the action lint ones, to just go, right, I'm gonna just pick a file or pick some files or pick a particular problem and just try and get a chunk of them as an isolated PR. But I think also if you can fix stuff while you're there, that would be great. But yeah, I think it's probably gonna take time. I don't know if we have a strategy. If there's any smart way we can check that things don't get worse.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's our priority at the moment, is making sure that when new PRs come in, they don't add more problems.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying like,
I don't disagree with the current strategy, but as Steve was saying, there could be that we fix this file, and then because this check is not required, right? Some other PR is gonna make it worse, right? So I think what we should do is we should have two shell checks. The first one is required and only verifies a subset of the checks, maybe just one check, right? And then the other shell check, uh, that one will be non-required, and it will act as our reference point, right, to check actually all the checks. Does that make sense?
it
And then
does.
in the required check, we can incrementally add those ST checks to that list of required checks. Do you know what I mean?
It does make sense. No disagreement on the approach that you're suggesting. I just have one question for Steve, because Steve mentioned, it's a question to answer your question, Steve. Like you asked, like, is there a smarter way to do this? Uh, what about Watson? And I'm not joking here. I sincerely like serious about that. Can you leverage Watson to just say like, hey, we have those show errors, like create me some PRs for that?
I can try.
Because I think that if Watson can do that for us, that would be the the most magic thing that we will ever see with AI.
Yeah, I can give it a try, and then
Yeah.
I'll put you as a use case on their sales material.
Yeah.
Or
Smoker,
friendly
what did you
Watson.
think about what I mentioned, the approach that I mentioned? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, makes sense. The only
S-
the only concern I have is we have files that have like over 2,000 errors. So if you edit as a required, you would need to fix all those 2,000 errors of this file.
Mm.
That's the only thing. Um,
Yeah. So like
another approach another approach would be if you're reviewing PRs
So you
and
you wou- you wouldn't incrementally add files. You would incrementally add checks.
oh, you
so
mean
it
like shell
yeah.
check? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But who is going to maintain that? You mean like shell check like features like
because
yeah,
shell check
new
you can tell shell check which checks to actually
yeah,
verify.
I know.
Or can you have an allow list that's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
in the code so we can just basically take all of the failures that we have at the moment. I just don't know how well it will work because I don't know if you introduce a new line if that will mean oh this doesn't doesn't meet the allow list. But yeah, I definitely like the idea, Aurelian. It's just
Hmm.
the details and working out which checks we want to do or which checks we skip. And but yeah, I think that's uh, definitely worth looking into.
Maybe also as a gating approval for PRs is if a PR touches any shell script that we want to see a commit in the PR fixing the shell script according to the shell check.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do not merge PRs if they're touching shell scripts and not fixing them.
Yeah, I agree.
But the other one to have something required is also nice.
Mm,
Um, I'm just curious how many errors would a specific shell check introduce, and if we can fix this in one go.
yeah,
You know, you would.
that's what the approach that I kind of took with the action lint is I just had a commit for each one. I just basically went, oh,
Mhm.
let's pick one and let's fix all of these, and then that's yeah. So there's more than 100 of this one, for example. So maybe that's not the best one to start, but you kind of go pick a. Let's try and
Well,
find
let's
one
go both
that's.
ways, right? Let's go
Well,
both
yeah,
ways.
like
Let's say,
there's only three of these, so can we go? Let's fix three of these and then put it on our list to
yeah,
not be ignored type thing.
Uh, I so what I will start doing is, for instance, let's consider that I have some time in my hands for one reason or another, right?
Mhm.
I will
aren't you on
start.
PTO?
I am on. I am. I'm not working. Let's put this in this
Okay.
way.
PTO, what is that?
Paid time off. So, no, in my case, it's like paid time on. But
Right, right,
Yeah, pay time. That's the same.
yeah, paid
Go
time,
ahead.
paid time away from Intel. That's what I am doing. But regardless, I will start with the kata deploy one. That's the one that is the most, in
Yeah,
my mind, that's the one that is the most user-facing one. I will just go ahead and make sure that this one is okay.
Yeah.
Uh, and and then like I'm not talking about this one, Steve. I'm talking about the kata deploy.sh, right? So the one that
okay. I was gonna say Kata deploy binaries. It's got like hundreds.
Yeah,
So
that one can be solved later.
how to
But
deploy this age? Well, there's more than 100 in here.
yeah, it's a reasonable amount,
Anyway,
right? So I will start with
there is
this,
exactly 100 it looks like. So that'll keep you busy for a little bit.
and then like we can move through the ones that are more user facing. There are some of those that we may
Mm,
just ignore.
yeah.
But let's try to focus on like what actually
mm,
the users are being exposed to.
yeah.
Do we need to, without wanting to make this too complicated, do we need to have an Etherpad just where when people are starting looking at things, they note down? Because otherwise we could easily have, I'm sure everybody on this call would be eager to remove some shell checks, and we don't want 9 people
Yeah.
all updating the same ones. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be useful to just have a kind of a shell check Etherpad, and then Fabiana, you could just sign up and do.
That
I'm
works.
starting looking on
Mm,
Kata deploy now, and I might say, oh, I'm going to look at a different script or a different type of issue or something like that.
yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense because I have the kernel module signing PR
Yeah.
where I'm touching a lot of SH files. So yeah, let's create this Etherpad, put the
Can we
PR
make it
in.
an issue instead of Etherpad?
Oh, an
I
issue?
would
Okay, yeah.
prefer as well.
Yeah, okay. Let's go issue then.
Cool.
And then
Then you
write down
just
the PR and
assign,
we're touching. Go
yeah,
ahead.
then you just send it to yourself and we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Shell
Yeah.
check task force.
Well, Viner's not here. He'll sign up for any task force
Okay.
that's going around.
Tag
So
him. We are volunteering him. Tag
yeah,
him.
Mm-hmm.
cool. Nice. I think definitely getting the shell check in was a good step, but we want to start making it better. So
Yeah.
sounds like we've got a few potential ideas for that. Okay. Any other last comments before lots of us move to the next call?
I missed you guys.
Mm-hmm. That's why
Um,
you're
yeah.
here.
I'm hoping we'll get a chance to miss you and you actually take some time off with while you're unemployed.
Oh, I will. I will. Like this is the only meeting that I'm showing up for the next month. But
Okay.
but I really would like to show up because it's been a long time that I didn't. So this is the only meeting that I'm actually showing up for the next month to the end of March.
Yeah, unfortunately, none of my talks were accepted for KubeCon, so I would love to meet you all at KubeCon. I think Aurelian would be there, Fidencio, Steve.
Yep.
This would be have a nice sync up, but yeah, maybe KubeCon November, NA, or something else. I need to go to FOSDEM or
Come to Fordham. Come to Fordham. Always good.
yeah.
Yeah, I won't drop a bombshell about whether Open Infra might be having more presence in KubeCon in future. I don't think we've got time for that, but it'll be interesting to monitor. But yeah, I should be at KubeCon. Yeah, so if people are there, it would definitely be great to meet up.
I will
And
not make it to London this time, but if I created an Etherpad already, I think I threw it into Slack. I found I think 2 talks that seem to be relevant to Kata/Coco, and if we have a critical mass, I'm happy to look into trying to get some gathering together for people who are able to be there in person. So if you all can sign up on the Etherpad, I'll put in other
I'll put-
reminders on Slack. So yeah, if we have enough people here, then it would be nice if y'all could get together. I'm happy to see what I can do to support that.
Cool.
And
Nice.
the last thing about KubeCon, like I just would like to mention that if you are going and you don't have a place to stay, Steve bought like a very nice house.
Yeah,
Just
unfortunately,
mentioning.
it is 2 hours away from London, and due to expenses reasons, I will be doing that 2-hour each way trip every day. So you're welcome to join me on that, but I'm not sure if I'd recommend it.
Wow, that's actually crazy.
Yeah. And
then
don't
you need
mention
to
the fact that the train will end up costing more than a hotel would, but that's expenses for you. All right, then. Cheers, folks. I'll speak to you soon, and thanks for joining.
cheers.
See you guys.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye.
Thanks, everyone.